Thank you for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Sara is just stuck in place right now. Even some of that heavier rain, parts of Jamaica, Cayman Islands. Yesterday, we had some rogue big-time rain areas back through Aruba. But of course, the focus Honduras over toward Belize, parts of Nicaragua, Guatemala, Mexico. High pressure locked in. That's a blocker. We talk about that together often, right? It is just sitting to the north of this area. So this area, Sara, it has nowhere to go right now. Over the next 12 hours, it is stuck, and that means just more and more flooding coming in. Those water rescues ongoing in many parts of Honduras. Some of the rain amounts picking up in Belize. Please, if you can, leave your location in the comments if you could do so safely, what you have going on or even not going on. There's a little, let me zoom down here, a little dry air sneaking into this as it is gradually weakening and interacting with land. We have a little dry air, but look at the Bay Islands right here. That's where the center is. So if you're watching now from the Bay Islands, the center of Sara is basically on top of us right here, but it's not moving at all. It is just stuck. Over the last 12 hours, it's been stuck. Over about at least the next 12 hours, not a lot of movement with this. And that means that onshore flow just continues. So eastern sections of Mexico, that higher chance of rain back through Belize, watching Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. We did have some of that flooding, watching that mudslide potential. It's a terrible situation when you have a system stuck. And this goes to show folks that, and we know this, that you don't need a powerful Category 3, 4 hurricane to cause immense life-threatening issues. And that's what we have with this. I do believe there's a high chance that Sara, a tropical storm, could get retired. The name could get retired just because of how unfortunately significant this event has been. Right on track from what I've been showing you the last couple days. Tomorrow it's going to be sitting on top of us in Belize, finally making its move, then falling apart as it moves through Guatemala, northern Guatemala, back into Mexico. It's going to get swept up into a front. A front is going to pull some of the additional rain. I'll show you that in a second in the Gulf of Mexico. One moment on that. Let me start with this though. This is of course the huge issue with the system that it has stalled out. That is really a worst case scenario for the rain. This is additional rain. This is on top of what we already had. And I mentioned some spots are going to get about 30 inches of rain out of this as a whole. But additional rain, so we're talking well over 500 millimeters total, but some additional totals. This yellow pocket here coming off of the Bay Islands, we could see some spots 250 millimeters of rain or 10 inches of additional rain. You see a lot of this yellow back through parts of Belize. Central, southern sections, Belize City South, better chance of rain. Been watching Hopkins over toward Ladyville, 200 millimeters of rain or 8 inches of rain. And this includes northern sections of Guatemala right here. Okay, so we're going to see the rain. Now, here's the deal. As it weakens, there are going to be some dry slots as well. Some of us in this area right now don't have a whole lot. It's actually kind of calm. We're not seeing rain while others are getting dumped on. And that's what we're going to see. It's kind of a broken area because the storm itself is starting to fall apart. Here's the bigger picture. Eastern sections of the Yucatan Peninsula, higher rain totals. By the time this action works its way toward Merida, Campeche, not a lot at all. But Cozumel South, that's where we could see some of those totals, upwards of 150 millimeters of rain or 6 inches of rain. And of course, watching over toward northern sections of Honduras. And then as this works across, there'll be significant weakening out of this. Let me start close up, and then I'll widen out the view into the Gulf of Mexico. So here's Belize City, and here we are, Roatan right here. That's where the center is. Right now, it's been in place for about 12 hours, and that just draws in that onshore kind of northerly, northeasterly flow, just pumping in some of that moisture right there. And that's why we'll have those higher totals, Cozumel South, and then right through Belize. It'll be broken at times. I mentioned some of us may have those dry slots getting in. Then by the time we get into tomorrow morning, so that was this afternoon, tomorrow morning, it does start to move, but barely. Look how slow, but this is the center, starts to work its way a little bit closer to Punta Gorda right here. Still that strong flow giving us the rain. Now, after we get past tomorrow morning when I join you, we're going to start to see it working inland. The center moves inland. There'll be weakening, additional rain, but once we get past tomorrow afternoon, things are going to dramatically start to improve as this area weakens, but still watching some of that rain that will be around. So this is tomorrow afternoon. You can see here just widening out the view. Now here's what's going on. Here's that front back to the west. Here's, as we work our way into Sunday afternoon, the center working its way out of Belize seas pulling into northern Guatemala and to northern Mexico. Onshore flow again, or northerly flow wrapping around it with the moisture. There's that area of high pressure that has been stuck, but finally that's going to start to move, right? So that starts to move tomorrow. That allows this front to drop in. We start to get some motion out there. So finally this area starts to make its way across Mexico. Now as it does, it is going to fall apart. It's going to lose all its tropical characteristics. Some of the rain though will kind of enhance this front. This is a big front coming out of Oklahoma and Texas right here. This front sweeps across. Could even see some severe weather in this. You see those brighter colors? Those are thunderstorms. Some of the moisture gets pulled into this. This is not a hurricane or tropical storm. This is a big time front that is moving by, and then you see kind of sliding by Florida into the northern Bahamas as we work our way into Wednesday. Big shot of colder air. It looks like this front is really going to cut off any prospects of development in the Gulf of Mexico going forward. Should end the hurricane season in our northern section. Still watching, of course, for us though, across the Caribbean to see if anything kind of strange does pop up later this month or early December. You see these modelings, and I mentioned this map the last few days, how this normally, if this were July, August, looks very scary. It looks like a big system's rolling in, but these lines, this is why I know some, you see them out there, and I don't love this map for a scenario like this, but I know you're smart, and you can see what I'm talking about. This doesn't show you the strength of this. By the time this area crosses Mexico here, it's not a tropical system. This is just showing you where the leftover rain will go, and I just showed you. It gets caught up into that front, right? That's just the leftover rain. There's not a big system that's headed up toward the northern Gulf, and you see just that weakening trend. This is those models out in time. Couple days out in time, just continuing to weaken. This bump up is just saying, hey, it's going to be over water again, but there's nothing tropical about it. And you see the water temperatures here. Of course, they've dropped off over the last few weeks, especially with all the named systems we've had rolling through the Gulf of Mexico. 80 degrees Fahrenheit, that's borderline to even support a tropical system. Still pretty warm, of course, as we work our way down through the Caribbean, so we'll monitor for any signs of development through the end of hurricane season into early December. But Sarah's what we're dealing with right now. Tony, Valerie, William, the next few names on the list. Hopefully we don't get there. Such a high impact season. Sometimes you have a lot of named storms, but most of the action stays out over water. This year, not the case. And Beryl, again, headlining things to start the season. That was an historic storm, just how strong it was in the Atlantic. St. Vincent, the Grenadines, Grenada, it rolled right in, and that's how we started. And then almost all of these storms, not all of them, but almost all of them did impact land one way or another. So here's the big picture. Now, Cayman Islands, Jamaica, we're still going to see some areas of rain that will be around. Keep an eye on a couple of those rogue showers that will be possible across the ABC Islands, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, some scattered showers with the tail ends of fronts. We're going to start tracking fronts, and down the road we'll start tracking some cooler weather, but you can see that rain that's around. Now this is Sunday. It's going to start to work in. Sarah moves into Belize. Rain chance will be starting to drop off. Now look over here. There's a lot of rain near Barbados and just to the east of Trinidad and Tobago, but these fronts may kind of keep it over here. This area of rain right here is not necessarily going to shift in for us in Grenada and Trinidad and St. Lucia, but I'm going to keep an eye on it just to see how close it gets. But these fronts are going to start to come in, and that could kind of drag some of this moisture away. So across the eastern Caribbean, I'll be monitoring our rain chance. There's a lot of rain nearby. Still kind of a wait and see if that moves in. Nothing tropical in nature, but the seas are going to be higher. Meters here, feet over here. Now here's that area back toward Bermuda, which I'll show you in just a moment. Big spin moving by from last night. Of course, the high seas in the Atlantic, elevated seas, no doubt, Western Caribbean, and then into the Gulf of Mexico. And as that front works in, this here is on Monday. That next front starts to sweep in. Choppy conditions, rough conditions up toward the northern Gulf as that big front moves by. This is by Tuesday in the Gulf of Mexico. Now here's Bermuda. Here's that spin that was working by. We're tracking that kind of coming off the southeast coast of the United States. And you see this backside flow here by the Atlantic region of Canada. Some snow in northern sections, but this area lifts to the north. So Newfoundland, for example, we're going to see that chance of rain sticking around. Tomorrow, some gusty winds. We're going to stay unsettled. Atlantic region of Canada. Watching over toward Prince Edward Island, not as much in New Brunswick. Another front, little front coming out of Quebec that will kind of combine with this. And look, on Monday, we stay very unsettled. There's another front working its way back through the U.S. as we get into that upcoming week, early in the upcoming week. Now, we get back to some of the rain totals. I zoomed down earlier I'm going to get to the Cayman Islands and Jamaica in a second. But for us in the Bahamas, Cuba, we've been mainly dry. Beautiful weather. Some fall weather has been around. Cayman Islands, Jamaica, we're going to be on the edge of it. See a little bit of this white and black showing up. If we get stuck in some heavier rain over the next couple of days, especially today in some locations, we could have a few spots that get 4 inches of rain or 100 millimeters of rain. We've had some flooding in here. I've been watching the comments, going back and forth with you, so keep me posted. Cayman Islands and Jamaica. Let me know how you're doing. Maybe you're not getting a whole lot. Let me know in the comments. We get back through Puerto Rico, chance of a shower. This here, the tail ends up front. So Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bart's, we could get a couple showers passing by. Could give us about 50 millimeters of rain, maybe a couple inches of rain. Now here's Barbados. This is that moisture that's sitting just off toward the east. I'm gonna just be monitoring the next couple days how close it gets. So Barbados, we're on the edge of it. We could see that rain chance really starting to go up. If this just starts to nudge a little bit more to the west, that rain chance will get higher. Watching that too in Trinidad and Tobago. So right now we could get a few spots in Barbados, Trinidad of 50 millimeters of rain or 2 inches of rain over the next 3 days. But if that area shifts a little closer, could be more. So that's what I'll be highlighting in some upcoming videos, watching out for the prospects of some higher rain amounts. Northeastern Venezuela, northern sections of Guyana, not as much in Suriname. Costa Rica, Panama, it's been raining for what feels like ever. Even parts of Nicaragua, the rain chance is going to try to drop off a little bit, but we still have that chance of rain where we could get a few spots of 100 millimeters of rain. Of course, watching this. Now, interior sections, El Salvador, most of this action has been off to the east or north, but because of Sara moving in, we're going to see this flow kind of coming in. So El Salvador, that rain chance is going to be higher. I'm not losing sight of anyone. Where we could see kind of on the Pacific side, El Salvador back toward Nicaragua, just enhanced with that moisture building in. That could lead to that mudslide threat. So got you covered. Thank you for spreading the word in El Salvador, back toward parts of Nicaragua about the mudslide threat with Sara, even though it's just up to the north, Mexico City mainly dry. Watching a front that's about to come through Texas. And boy, some spots in Texas really need the rain. So Jamaica today is that highest chance of rain. Same thing in Cayman Islands. And then we're going to be seeing that rain chance dropping off. We get back through Trinidad and Tobago. See how it bumps up a little bit tomorrow and Monday? That's that rain that's nearby. About a 50% chance of rain. At Barbados, we're going to be on the edge of some heavy rain. So I'll see how close it gets over the next few days with you. St. Lucia rain chance up to 50% tomorrow, and looking at about a 50% chance through Grenada. We could get some of those scattered, about a 40 to 50% chance, some scattered showers. St. Vincent the Grenadines, 40 to 50%. 30% chance today in Martinique, up to a 50% chance tomorrow. We do that again over toward Dominica. Rain chance bumps up Sunday and Monday. Little front up to the north. Some of that moisture in the Atlantic waters getting closer. Guadeloupe, 40 to 50% chance through the weekend. 30% chance of rain today in Antigua and Barbuda, but it starts to climb. We're going to see that rain chance getting higher. You see tomorrow and Monday, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, we're up to 50% chance. Anguilla and St. Bart's were already unsettled. Let me know how you're doing if you're getting any of those scattered showers. 60% chance today, 40 to 50% chance. St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. We'll be watching some of that moisture nearby. Puerto Rico, some scattered areas of rain for today. A 60% chance today in Puerto Rico, about a 50% chance tomorrow. Keeping it at about a 40 to 50% chance U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Not all of us are going to get the rain through the weekend, but we have a shot of that. The Bahamas, we are mainly dry. Turks and Caicos, we are mainly dry. Some beautiful weather has settled in. Rain chance about 40% in the Dominican Republic, and we're looking at about a 30% chance of an isolated shower, maybe a storm as we work our way toward Haiti. Of course, all eyes on Belize today. That's where we started this video, Belize, Honduras, watching out for the flooding. Aruba, rain chance, not super high, but like yesterday, it's not zero, and that means we could get a couple showers. And yesterday, we even got some flooding in spots. Curacao, rain chance, yeah, it's not high, but it's not zero. Guyana, rain chance higher in the northern zones. About a 30% chance of getting some rain in Suriname. Cuba, generally dry, beautiful weather, lots of sunshine the next few days. Monitoring the flooding, rain chance down a smidge. Costa Rica, Panama, about a 70% chance rather. 70% chance in Nicaragua. Monitoring the flooding, the mudslide threat today with Sara on the move. Of course, Honduras. Sara is just stuck right now, eventually starting to move tonight into tomorrow. Guatemala, monitoring northern and eastern sections for the higher chance of rain. Mexico City, we are on the dry side. Yucatan Peninsula, highest rain totals. Eastern sections, not as much. Campeche and Merida. 30 to 40% chance of rain. Northern Colombia, looking at a 30 to 40% chance of rain in northern Venezuela. And we get back back through Bermuda. That spin is exiting behind it. We're looking pretty good tomorrow and into Monday. So Sara is stuck right now. Those water rescues ongoing. I know a lot of folks are helping each other out. It is so good to see that. It is, of course, not good to see what's happening with this system, but everyone just trying to help out, watching those mudslides, record amounts of rain. We'll see how we do once I'll be totaling this up kind of behind the scenes once this system finishes up to see how close we get to some of those records, and watching for a little bit more development down in the Caribbean later this month. There's some signs that nothing huge, but just kind of an area to watch in the Caribbean. The waters are still warm, so I'll be watching out for that later into the month. So please be safe. Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Belize, parts of Mexico, as we work our way back toward Honduras. Please be safe with the flooding. I'll be going through the comments with you throughout the day. Have a good day ahead.